There are places where the past never ceases to be present. Places that, far from being forgotten in time, mark our present. A present that tries to keep away anyone who dares to enter its walls. This is the case of the castle of Mata Bejid. A Muslim castle built in the 14th century. Snatched from the Muslims after bloody battles in 1316 by Pedro de Castilla. The castle is totally abandoned and semi-ruined after the hard battles. Since then, the inhabitants of the nearby town of Campbell point to this place as haunted. There are many who claim to have seen shadows wander through this old and battered fortress. And they all coincide in the same presence, the Witch of Castillejos. A witch who frightens an entire town and keeps the most curious away. But today that will change. Join us on our adventure after the Witch of Castillejos.
Now we are going to start with all the tests. We are going to start with the spirit box and the K2. In addition, we will leave a night vision camera and a 360 camera, of which you will have a separate video with all the isolation. I think I'll do an isolation if we don't finish too late, and well, let's see if we have any results. I remind you that I have created a Patreon. If you like my content and want to support me, you have it below in the description.
¿Puede acercarse a mi mano y hablar a través de este aparato, por favor?
Well, we are already up in the homage tower, and see how this is. Look what dome. Here is a hole. I don't know if there was a room here before or if it communicated with something, but it's deep enough, it's deep. Here we are going to do the tests. We have left part of the equipment and the 360 camera. Let's start now with the spirit box and see if we get something. Is the witch from Castillejos here? If it is true that the supposed witch exists, why don't you come and throw the equipment?
At this moment, we catch a lament, but none of us know.
Well, since we are not getting results, we are going to change position. We are going to go to another tower that is higher up to see if we have more answers there.
After almost an hour without results, we decided to change the tower to see if we have more luck.
As it seems that with the spirit box we are not getting any results, what we are going to do is go to the other tower and try with the kinect camera. And then we move on to the following tests.
20 minutes after mounting the kinect camera, it stops working for no apparent reason.
What the f? We have had a problem with the kinect camera, and it is that the battery that we always use has heated up for some reason and does not want to work. Look what happens when we activate the current. It warns us that something is wrong, and it is that it has overheated. Now we are going to store all the equipment and mount the 360 camera with a motion sensor, a static GoPro camera, and also we are going to leave a recorder. Then outside we are going to mount a laser point camera, and the night vision camera with another motion sensor.
In this tower, we have prepared a 360-degree camera, a recorder, a motion sensor, and a static camera. Outside we place a laser camera with a voice recorder. We also set up a night vision camera, a motion sensor, and the K2 in the castle courtyard. The tower recorder picks up a slight bump on a plastic surface from the tripod. "15 minutes later, a woman's voice is recorded, although it is too weak to understand what it says. "1 minute after picking up the previous psychophony, the recorder picks up a very unpleasant voice. "15 minutes later, the camera located outside the tower manages to capture how something manages to cover the lower part of the mesh of points. Little by little it moves until it disappears completely. At this moment, he abruptly interrupts the scene, remaining motionless for several seconds. "10 seconds later it begins to move in a strange way until it disappears completely. We really don't know anything about what stops in front of the camera, since it is located on a vertical wall more than a meter high. It could be some large insect. We thought it would be interesting to show you this clip to see your opinion about it. A weak male voice leaves us with a negative answer, as if it does not agree with something that is happening at that moment. Minutes later, a male voice is recorded again, but it is too weak to understand what it says. The night vision camera, mounted in the courtyard of the castle, manages to capture incredible evidence. A mist capable of letting light through, and in the shape of a human head, appears on the plane. We can be sure that it is not an animal or its projected shadow, since right in front of where the fog appears there is a motion sensor covering the area, so if there was an animal it would undoubtedly trigger the alarm. In slow motion the shape of the head can be distinguished much better, and how it materializes in front of the camera. This could be the first time that the Witch of Castillejos has been recorded, the castle of Mata Bejid being one of the few places in the world with a true legend, and giving credibility to people who, despite risking their reputation, have been able to tell about their encounter with this presence. After recording the shadow in the castle courtyard, a weak female voice appears in the audio of the recorder, wanting to attract attention for some unknown reason. After a few minutes a knock is heard from inside the tower. The recorder manages to capture what looks like a conversation between two men, although due to the noise pollution from outside it is impossible for us to understand what they say. A very anguished voice is captured by the recorder as it seems to want to get rid of someone. A whisper sneaks into the recorder giving a very obscene message. If we take into account the history of the place, this psychophony makes a lot of sense. Finally, a surprising intelligent psychophony seems to give us a direct order. Making a summary of the place and the results, we reach a conclusion. We can confirm that paranormal phenomena happen in this place. And although being in the castle we hardly get evidence, it is evident that when the place is left completely alone, it seems to come to life. We have achieved some really encouraging results thanks to the static cameras, both for visual and psychophonic registers, with a human-shaped mist as the protagonist in the castle courtyard. In the psychophonic section, we have not had many records. Most of them are very difficult to hear without quality headphones. Although it is striking that the voices captured are closely related to the history of the castle. Although the previous records may be residual voices, a completely intelligent voice requires us to stop recording, demonstrating that there are energies in this castle capable of interacting directly with us. With evidence this strong, it's easy to understand why people are afraid of this place. For more than 9 hours, we were trying to collect paranormal events, and to our surprise we have managed to capture on camera the famous apparition of the Castillejos witch, thus proving that not all legends are false. After more than 4 years conducting research, we are very clear that paranormal activity does not appear when you want, it appears when they choose it. Fortunately, this time, we are at the exact time and place to capture the unexplained.
Well, remember that you have the 360 video in a separate video. And in that video you will be able to see all the time that the camera has been in isolation and see if something happens, something moves, or to explain things that the recorder has been able to capture. They are some videos that are very complicated to make. Although they seem simple videos, they are really very complicated to bring to the channel. And little more to say. I hope you liked the video, that you support it, that you leave a comment, and see you in the next one.